And I'm just hanging out with you guys this afternoon. Of course, just trying to, keep some spirits up, keep my spirits up, of course. Yeah, because today was the funeral legendary, for the legendary comedian, fashion maven, and just all around personality, Joan Rivers. She died on the 3rd. She died she died on when? She died Thursday. At the age of 81. Of course, you probably know that a week before that, she went to the hospital. She had gone to the hospital to have some sort of surgery done. Well, she didn't go to the hospital. She went to a clinic to have the surgery done, and something went horribly, horribly wrong, and she suffered a cardiac arrest and respiratory arrest. She was in a coma for the following days. They took her off life support, and she passed on, unfortunately. This is really sad. She really did sad. She really did. It's just really sad because one of the reasons is because, just to reflect on it a little bit, I've always been a fan of Joan Rivers. Granted, she was kind of caustic and her humor was really intense. If you didn't like her, you didn't like her. If you liked her, you liked her. And she was just brutally honest in her comedy. And she said what we were all thinking. And she passed on. And I guess the reason why it's kind of sad to me, more than anything, is because, well, for one thing, on a superficial level, she and I share the same name, Joan. And, it's just something about her that is it's just really sad. The fact that, she was 81 years old, and she managed to just do so much in her life. She managed to, have such a mark on this world. And the fact that she's gone is kind of sad. It leaves a very big hole in the fashion community because she was a fashion critic. She was host of the popular show Fashion Police. So no one was safe with her around. She will criticize you no matter what. And, it's just that... it's just really sad. And, it's just one of those things. I think one of the reasons why I liked her so much she was a comedian and she spoke her mind. She said exactly what she was thinking. And she had this really quick wit that I just love so much. And I find that growing up, I found that, focusing on her and seeing how quick she was with her wit made me realize that I could do the same thing too. She was a smart ass, and I like to think that I'm a smart ass. So it's just really sad that, someone so important to some communities. I mean, okay, let's just be poignant. Around the time that she was coming up and she was making her mark in comedy, she was the only woman doing it at the time. So she crashed the comedy ceiling. When it was just a male-dominated field, she was the only girl out there doing her thing. And she did it with such style and such grace. And, she had this really interesting way. Of course, she's also a New Yorker. She was born in Brooklyn, grew up in Westchester. And, I just feel like, something about her drew me to her, even as a kid, because, well, her name for one, and two, she always had this, style that I really, really liked about her. And, she had, the jewelry line, and she was always so impeccably dressed, and she was just always so funny. Even if her jokes would make you say, oh, wait a minute, whoa, that's a little, it's a little offensive. But you know what? You took it in stride and you realized that that is her. That's her. Sometimes comedy hurts, but you're still supposed to laugh at it. The first time you hear it, maybe you'll say to yourself, whoa. But the second time, you'll actually laugh at it, because they always say comedy is truth. Every joke has a kernel of truth to it. So, so I was like, I just want to thank Joan, because if it wasn't for Joan Rivers, I probably wouldn't be here right now, because she was one of my inspirations growing up. She was like, I just loved her personality, and I just loved that she had this sarcasm and this wit, and she didn't give a damn about anybody. She didn't give a damn who she hurt. And some people may think that she was kind of brazen and bawdy. But when you figure out that at her core, she was such a good person. She gave to charity. She was so supportive of, social injustices such as gay rights and everything like that. So, she had a heart, at the core, she had a heart, and she was always on. She was always on guard. And you're not going to find that anymore. Well, you do find that right now. You do find it in other comedians such as Kathy Griffin, Amy Schumer, I forgot her name, the dark-haired one, Silverman. You find that before, but the thing is that she created that, and she made it all her own. And it's really damaging to the soul to know that she's not going to be there. But I am thankful for her, and I'm thankful for everything she's done. I'm thankful for the path that she paved for up-and-coming young women to enter into comedy, and to know that it's okay to be a little bawdy. You don't have to be ladylike at all times. You should dress like a lady, but you shouldn't be all bawdy. You can be bawdy. You're allowed to. It's perfectly allowed. And you can say what you think without any repercussion, without any fear of the repercussions that follow. And you have to think about it. I think one of her quotes, I think, are awesome, where she says, life is tough. Life is tough. I just think, make them laugh. And it's poignant. It makes sense. She also said that she's not going to bow to political correctness, which I think is awesome. Because I feel like when you say something like that, like when you bow down to being politically correct and everything has to be all safe and sound, it's kind of like you're denying that there is a problem. Like there is something that needs to be pointed out. And she let that be known. Some people need that in their lives. Some people can't take the truth. Some people may think it's offensive, but you know what? You also have to think about it. She was also a comic. She didn't have to apologize for what she said. It's all in comedy. You may think that her comedy is, crude and baseless and unfunny, but that could be your opinion. Others may find her hilarious. Some people may actually see through what she's saying to get to the core of it and find it funny. So I just want to thank her for that. I think that was awesome for that. And she also said, never be afraid to laugh at yourself. After all, you could be missing out on the joke of the century. It makes perfect sense, because you have to think about it. Part of Joan Rivers' comedy is the fact that she's able to make fun of herself. Because as you probably have realized, she was, ow, that hurt. She was a very big fan of plastic surgery. You probably saw that. And I just remember she was doing like a Geico commercial. And, she said that I think for some reason this line stays in my head. She said that this face has seen more knives than a Benihana. And it's hilarious that she said that. And it's just so funny that she said that. And she was able to speak so candidly about her plastic surgery. And she was able to be bawdy and just be crazy and just say things, It's like, I feel like at the core, she's like that member in your family. She's like that older member in your family that just says exactly what they think without any fear, without any repercussions. And you need that in your life. You need that. It's important. You just need that person to just say what everybody else is thinking. So I just want to say thank you so much to Joan Rivers for everything. And, you know, I will carry your name with pride. And, you know, even though I didn't make it to be in her ether that she could, you know, joke about me and my fashion choices, but, you know, she will live on. Like I always say, some people, they're on this planet, you know, when they die young, they accomplished everything they need to, and they were efficient enough to accomplish their goals in a short amount of time. Joan took, 81 years to do it, and I'm thankful that she did, because while it's hard to know that, she was the third death to come, because you know what they say, death comes in threes. Because you had Robin Williams, you had Lauren Bacall, and now you have Joan Rivers, all gone within a matter of weeks. And thank you so much for everything, Joan. Make God laugh. Don't insult him too much. And I'm just thankful for everything. I'm gonna wear her jewelry and her name with pride now. And I just love her. She was like my great auntie. I call her great auntie Joan, because she was just so freaking awesome. And it's sad that she's no longer with us, but that's how life is. She had a great life. She said that if ever she dies, she would not regret it. She lived a good life. She lived a long life, and she's shocked that she didn't die yet. So I can't regret that. I can't say that it was horrible, it was bad, or anything like that. But I do think that her death wasn't supposed to happen. I don't think it's supposed to happen. It happened, but it's not supposed to happen. Mainly because of the circumstances that surrounded her death. Because, as you know, her autopsy came in inconclusive, so there needs to be more testing done. And they're going to do that. And it's just that, we could sit here and armchair quarterback about what made her think that it was a good idea to have this procedure done at a clinic instead of a hospital. They were actually saying that her age is not a factor to that, because there's no real difference in factors. It's just that, for these sorts of situations, especially when you're dealing with the throat, which the throat has lots to do with the heart and has lots to do with the lungs. And, a surgery like that, I think should have been done at a hospital, but it was her decision. And, we're all the losers for it, because we no longer have her with us. But at the end of the day, she did what she had to do. She came, she saw, she criticized, she conquered, and we're not going to forget her. She's definitely one in a million. We're not going to see another her in our lifetime, and I hope not. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my perspective on it. She was an inspiration to me. She was like an icon to me. I appreciated her very much so, because I appreciated her humor, I appreciated her style, I appreciated her wit, the fact that she could talk so candidly and honestly about things. And it kind of inspired me when it came to being in media and in radio, because I'm able to talk about my personal experiences with a slight bit of humor behind it, and sometimes I'm criticized for doing so, but guess what? This is me. This is who I am. And if I want to share a part of my life with you guys, I want to. It's kind of like my therapy in one way. And in another way, it's the mic. It's my time, my moment on the mic. And my job is to make something that's relatable to you. And that's what she did. She made a comedy that was relatable to you. She created a persona